Were you ever truly a victim of circumstance? You, the chosen one, were always part of a divine plan. God meticulously orchestrated events, allowing those who wronged you to think they were in control. They believed their deception granted them power, but every move they made was under divine supervision. This wasn't a failure or defeat, it was a setup. You were placed in that situation for a purpose, and their missteps were simply pieces of a larger divine strategy. Their desperation was palpable, like a storm battering a fortress, hoping to break through the walls. They sought shortcuts, bypassing the natural order, scrambling for control because deep down they feared the power you hold. It's as if they watched your every move, like an actor studying their scene partner, learning your lines, rehearsing ways to outshine you. They set traps, carefully hidden in kindness, hoping you'd fall into them without noticing. And maybe for a moment, they thought they succeeded. They watched your hesitation, mistaking it for weakness. They confused your silence with surrender. It's no different from a coworker who smiles to your face while deliberately undermining your efforts, convinced their subtle sabotage would go unnoticed. Lost emails, twisted conversations, misrepresented intentions, they played this game in broad daylight. And yet, you saw through it all. Their every move was illuminated, every false gesture a beacon of their insecurity. You could have confronted them, laid bare their deception in front of everyone, but you didn't. You allowed them to believe in their hollow victory, because you knew something they didn't. Their scheme was part of a larger design, one that they couldn't fathom. They thought they were playing a game of chess, moving their pieces with calculated precision, but they didn't realize the board was rigged from the start. Every move they made was foreseen, every deceit a stepping stone on a path they didn't control. They believed they held the upper hand, like an illusionist performing tricks in a room of mirrors, forgetting that you could see the sleight of hand. Their attempts to overpower you, to make you small, only highlighted their own weakness. They sought to control you, but in reality, they were puppets dancing to strings they didn't even know existed. They thought they had won. God allowed them to believe their manipulation, their deceit, had given them the upper hand. They strutted in false confidence, thinking they had drained you of your power. But the tables have turned, and the very energy they used against you has begun to rebound, accelerating with a force they can't contain. Like a tidal wave rising in the dead of night, the reckoning came swiftly. They didn't see it coming because they were too busy reveling in what they thought was their victory. What they tried to steal from you is now flooding back, not in the measure they expected, but multiplied, unstoppable. They reached out with greedy hands, trying to take what was never theirs to hold, and now those same hands tremble as they realize everything is slipping away. It's as if they planted seeds of destruction, only to find a forest of their own demise growing at their feet. The tables have not just turned, they've been flipped violently, and everything they sought to control has spun out of their grasp. They stand now bewildered, watching as the opportunities they thought they had stolen are laid at your feet, overflowing. The recognition, the success, the favor that they sought to snatch away has not just returned to you, it has come back magnified. They thought they had orchestrated the downfall, but instead it's you standing in the center of the stage, illuminated, while they are left in the shadows. Like the co-worker who thought they had cleverly derailed your efforts, only to see you standing at the head of the table, receiving accolades they thought were theirs. They now realize their games have only propelled you higher. The sabotage they set in motion has crumbled beneath their feet, leaving them exposed. They thought they were the puppet masters, pulling strings in secret, but the strings have snapped and the marionette has fallen. Now it's your name being spoken, your work being exalted, while they stand in the ruins of their own schemes. Their power has evaporated, and the shift is undeniable. Everything they tried to use against you has boomeranged back, delivering the blow they never anticipated. You, the one they underestimated, now stand as the proof that nothing done in darkness stays hidden for long. They despised what they saw in you, not because of anything you did, but because your very existence revealed the truth they worked so hard to bury. Your strength, your integrity, shone a light on their inadequacies. Where they wore masks, you were unflinching in your authenticity. Where they hid behind manipulation, you stood firm in honesty, and that was the beginning of their unraveling. They tried to root themselves into your life, hoping their presence would be unnoticed, that they could thrive in your shadow without ever being exposed. But instead, they dug their own grave. Now, you're not just a passing thought. They cannot shake you from their mind. Your example, your resilience, has taken deep root in their psyche. They thought they could break you, but every attempt has only revealed the fractures in themselves. It's like they've been staring into a mirror, and what they see reflected back isn't the version of themselves they've carefully curated. They see weakness, they see fear, they see everything they've been running from, and it's all because of your unwavering presence. In their effort to dominate, they've actually trapped themselves. It's no different from working in a team with someone who thrives on stealing the spotlight, used to being the star, the one everyone defers to. But this time, your steady, unrelenting work ethic has quietly cast them into the shadows. You didn't need to speak out against them. You didn't need to point out their failures. By merely doing what you do best, staying true to your path, you expose them. They're left squirming under the weight of their own laziness, their lack of integrity. Everyone around them starts to see it, not because of any accusations, but because your example is undeniable. They can't hide anymore. Their discomfort grows with every passing moment, every interaction with you as their facade cracks and falls apart. They're left scrambling, desperate to regain the control they never truly had, and yet the more they try, the more evident their own downfall becomes. They are no longer the star of their own story. They are caught in the orbit of your truth, unable to escape the reality they've been trying to avoid. You are their reckoning, and they can't run from the reflection you've become in their life. Every plot they wove, every scheme they crafted, has detonated in their hands. They sought to manipulate you, to bend your will, hoping to project their obsessions onto you. But now, it's devouring them from the inside. What they intended for you has rebounded with merciless precision. The energy they drained from you, the subtle attempts to wear you down, is rushing back to you, stronger, sharper, filling you with an undeniable force they never expected. For years, they may have tried to erode your reputation in a workplace or social circle, drip-feeding lies into conversations, planting seeds of doubt about your character, all to elevate themselves. Each calculated whisper, each twisted story was meant to cast them in a light they didn't deserve. But the truth has a way of surfacing, and it doesn't need your intervention to reveal itself. A small slip, perhaps a miscalculated statement or an overlooked contradiction, has torn open the fabric of their deception. Their mask cracks, revealing the hollow foundation beneath. Now, those who once hung on their every word, who believed the carefully crafted stories, are turning to you. Without your seeking it, the trust they tried to steal is flowing toward you, stronger than before. People start asking for your guidance, recognizing the strength you carried in silence. Their credibility, built on lies and manipulation, crumbles like sand in the wind, while your integrity stands firm. You were never in their shadow, they simply worked tirelessly to create one, hoping you wouldn't notice. But their plans have not only failed, they have reversed. The power they tried to strip from you is now being returned in abundance. It's as though every lie they spoke was a knot in the rope, and now that rope is unraveling, leaving them exposed and powerless. The more they struggle to regain control, the tighter the snare becomes. They are consumed by the obsession they tried to force upon you, unable to escape the very trap they set. You are no longer just a target in their game. You've become the force that dismantles it. Every ounce of control they tried to claim is slipping through their fingers, and now, without you lifting a finger, the power they sought to steal is fully yours. You were never meant to be a bystander in your own life. God chose you with deliberate intention, knowing that you would carry the weight of this mission not as a burden, but as a testament to your power. You were not brought into this situation by accident. You were placed here because only you possess the strength to transform pain into purpose. This wasn't just a test for others' benefit. It was a divine setup to elevate you to a higher plane. Your strength was the key, your resilience the fire that purified every moment of adversity. And now, you stand at the threshold of your true power, aligned with a purpose far greater than the temporary trials you've endured. They tried to break you, to mold you into someone lesser. But their efforts were futile from the beginning. God didn't choose you to be their victim. He chose you to reveal their weakness, to turn their weapons against them. You were the quiet storm they never saw coming, the force they could not reckon with because they mistook your silence for submission. But every tear you shed, every moment you doubted yourself, was merely the sharpening of your sword. You weren't defeated. You were being refined, honed for something much greater. It's like being the underestimated figure in the room, the one they dismissed until they were forced to reckon with the reality of your power. They thought they could manipulate you, break you down, but in doing so, they unknowingly set the stage for your rise. Their attacks weren't obstacles, they were stepping stones. While they were busy trying to steal from you, to undermine your purpose, you were quietly gathering strength. And now their crisis becomes your moment. It's not because you sought recognition or validation, but because you've always been prepared for this role. While others were focused on petty games, you were being trained in silence by something far greater than they could comprehend. Now they look to you, not with the pity they once harbored, but with a respect so deep it unsettles them. They realized that while they were wasting their energy on superficial victories, you were becoming something indestructible. You didn't need their approval, and that's what makes your elevation so powerful. You stand tall not because you sought to be noticed, but because you were always meant to lead. You were the answer they didn't know they needed, the one who could see through the storm and find the way out. The alignment with your true purpose was never about proving them wrong. It was about you recognizing your own greatness. The adversities they threw your way weren't roadblocks, they were catalysts. Each time they tried to take from you, they only contributed to your growth. You are the chosen one, not because of what you endured, but because of how you turned every trial into triumph. Now, as they scramble in confusion, you rise with clarity, firmly rooted in the knowledge that this was your path all along. God has been with you through it all, guiding you toward this moment of undeniable power. And now it's clear to everyone. You were chosen for this, molded for this, and no force can take away the divine inheritance that is rightfully yours. You are no longer just surviving, you are thriving, and it was always meant to be this way. Their time has come, and now they are entangled in the very web they spun to ensnare you. Every ounce of energy they poured into manipulating you, every underhanded move has boomeranged back, sealing their fate. Karma is relentless, and it spares no one. They are trapped in the chaos they created, watching helplessly as the universe delivers the consequences they thought they had escaped. Whatever tools they used, be it deception, manipulation, or even spiritual forces, have turned against them. They tried to weave their schemes in secret, but the truth, sharp and unforgiving, has unraveled their lies for all to see. It's as though they poured poison into a well, believing you would drink it, only to find themselves the ones choking on it. Everything they set in motion to bring about your downfall has now set the stage for their own collapse. They can't hide from the weight of their actions anymore. Their power, once rooted in shadows, is now crumbling like dust in the wind. Every rumor, every lie, is being exposed in the harsh light of day. Think of someone who once called themselves your friend, all while spreading rumors behind your back, confident in their deception. For a time they managed to keep their hands clean, to sow discord without getting caught. But now, in a single misstep, a misplaced message, a carelessly forwarded email, the truth has escaped, and with it, their carefully constructed facade. Everything they built on falsehood is collapsing, and they stand amidst the wreckage, unable to outrun the truth any longer. Their downfall isn't gradual, it's swift, sudden, and undeniable. The same people they manipulated, the ones who believed their lies, are turning against them. No amount of backpedaling can save them now. The lies they spun so meticulously have come undone, and their former allies are watching them fall. The silence they forced upon you has transformed into a deafening roar of truth, and they have nowhere left to hide. You didn't have to lift a finger. Their own actions have become their undoing. They are powerless against the force they unleashed, trapped in a mess of their own creation. Karma has claimed its due, and now they must face the inevitable fallout. As their power fades, it flows directly to you, like a dam finally bursting and releasing the floodwaters meant to strengthen your spirit. Every ounce of energy they expended in their desperate attempts to bring you down is now refueling your rise. What they hoped would destroy you has only solidified your foundation. God has stripped away any lingering remnants of their negativity, cleansing you of the toxins they tried to implant. You stand unshaken, your roots deep in sacred ground, fully aligned with the purpose that was always destined for you. The power they sought to steal has now become your inheritance. You have not just survived their attacks, you have thrived, transformed. They believed they could outrun you, taking shortcuts, using deception to get ahead, while you remained steady, running the long race with patience. They were arrogant, mocking you as they sped ahead, thinking their quick gains meant victory. But now the truth is undeniable. They have run out of breath. The energy they borrowed through manipulation has drained, leaving them weak, struggling to keep up. Meanwhile, you, with your unwavering pace, cross the finish line with strength and grace. They are forced to watch from the sidelines, breathless, defeated, as the reward they coveted is placed firmly in your hands. Their shortcuts have led them nowhere, while your perseverance, grounded in righteousness, has earned you the prize. What they thought was their triumph was nothing more than a fleeting illusion, evaporating in the face of your unyielding power. Now the transfer of power is complete. The gifts they tried to withhold from you are being returned, multiplied. You are rising higher than ever before, empowered not just by your own strength, but by the divine forces guiding you. Your victory is not just a momentary success, it is the fulfillment of your purpose. Every step you take now is fortified by the lessons learned through endurance, every achievement blessed by the energy they lost in their futile efforts to control you. They are left in the dust while you stand victorious. What was meant to weaken you has instead empowered you beyond measure. Their fall is your rise, and now, all that they tried to claim has been transferred to you as part of God's plan. You are unstoppable, walking in divine authority, carrying the power they could never possess. You are victorious. Every attempt they made to break you, every tactic they deployed to weaken your spirit, has only revealed their own limitations. They underestimated you. They failed to grasp the depth of your connection to God and the divine protection that surrounds you. In their arrogance, they believed they could control your destiny, but what they didn't see was that their actions were merely instruments in your elevation. The struggles they caused have become the soil in which your power now grows. You have emerged from this battle, not just surviving but thriving, indestructible in your newfound strength. What they intended for your destruction has been transformed into your greatest victory. Their deception, manipulation, and cruelty are powerless in the face of the truth you carry within you. You are standing taller, not because of what they did, but because of how God has used their actions to refine and empower you. You are no longer tethered to the weight of their schemes. Instead, you are soaring above them, anchored in divine purpose. They are now facing the reality of their actions. The energy they used against you has reversed course, leaving them entangled in their own mess, powerless to stop the consequences unfolding around them. Meanwhile, you are walking in clarity and strength, fully aware of who you are and the power you possess. No longer are you bound by the limitations others try to impose on you. You are free, and that freedom radiates from you, visible to everyone around you. Your resilience has become a beacon, drawing others to your strength, and they will come to you, not in pity, but in respect for what you have endured and overcome. This is your moment. You are not merely surviving, you are flourishing. You have been shaped by the fire of adversity, and what has emerged is stronger, more resilient, and aligned with the purpose that was always meant to be yours. The victory is yours, not because you fought with your own hands, but because God fought for you, and now your enemies must face the reckoning. Now it's your turn to share your story. You have a testimony of triumph, and others need to hear it. There are those still trapped in the battles you've already won, and your strength can be their guiding light. Speak your truth, tell your story, and let your victory be the catalyst for the victories of others. Your voice is powerful. Use it.